Hi, my name is John Totaro, and I welcome you to another one of my chapter readings. I have a little thing going now. It's called Totaro Books, www.totarobooks.com. I've started to write a series of books. I'm on my fourth book now, and I'm not going to stop writing. I really enjoy it, and it seems to, suffocate a lot of things that have happened in the past, and making it more productive as I move on into the future. So this book here is Till Then Is Now. I'm going to read one of the shorter chapters. I don't want to get into a really long chapter, but I'll read a short chapter, and I just thought I'd take you along for the little ride here, and without any hesitation or anything, I want to get going on that for you, so I do appreciate your time. This is Till Then Is Now. This is the chapter, The Visualist. My perspective on things comes primarily upon seeing them. I am trying new avenues on actually seeing visions more in my thoughts than I have in the past, and it is working. I always thought being a visionary was a big part of seeing. I have been educated more by readings and have moved on to being more open-minded about the future as far as believing it, seeing it is to believe it. Okay? Not all is attainable to see. Everyone knows that, but would you ever really go buy anything if you didn't actually see at least a picture of it? Visions are things seen in the mind rather than in reality, and I have come to that reality for sure. My visions in which I have been receiving lately have been those of real fantasies that are going to and will become reality. I am purposely taking you as a reader on a journey on some of these visions and hoping it will motivate some to follow the example I am setting out to be. I was brought up as a child being taught to believe in the unseen, primarily in the concept of God. The concept of faith is the predominant subject in this case, and any case that has to do with a higher power. I do believe in a higher power, and is primarily what I am sitting on right at this moment. The earth. In past readings and watching of videos, I have picked out what later processed as new beliefs for me. The universe is what I have based my belief system at this time, and a strong base of attraction has taken place. Whatever you think of the most is basically what is going to come into view as a primary source of receiving. If you take someone who is really addicted to something as small as soda or as damaging as hard drugs, you know that the thought process and need for this item is intense. If someone can receive a couple $1,000s worth of drugs every month, why can't someone think of whatever he or she wants to receive and receive that? Too many. They just want a new car and a nice place to live. If you did anything you could to get the drugs, then why couldn't it be the same for the car and home? It's the same. The law of attraction is going to make sure you get that with the right intent and purpose. An addict lives for the drug and thus receives it. And the person really desiring the car and home will eventually receive that. Easy. There are many avenues to take on a venture that will lead to either happiness or destruction. It's up to you. I guess I really was not paying close attention to a specific thing, and I had no focus on a specific need or want. Now that I am more focused on my wants and needs, things are coming into view more realistically than before. It is exciting to see the things desired manifest themselves and become reality. This is serious stuff, and I'm glad it came into my life, and the power of suggestion is my reality at this time. Be careful what you wish for, because it might become real, whether you really want it or not. At this point in time, I am grateful for all I have, and the people that I have in my life to help me when needed, no matter what the circumstances might be. I could not support myself financially if that was not one of my requests from the universe at this time. I am going forward with my vision as an actor at this time, and I have to become relentless on my goal on seeking the ultimate dream at this point. No matter what, I have to stay on task and remind myself and others of my day-to-day progress, so it motivates me even more. I am wishing and needing at this point to get clarity on my position at the new agency I have placed my trust in. The conservative of the state in which I live has a way of delaying and taking its time on matters at hand. I do wish for the patience I have acquired and more of it to sustain my will at this point. It is a lot slower here as far as lifestyle and urgency, as far as taking care of business and returning responses from people I have contacted and need correspondence back. All in due time, and my professionalism exceeds my expectations. I hope all is clear to you as the reader on my methods and writing techniques. I write in the bettering of myself and whoever reads my words. As my imagination would have it, many visions have come and gone in my mind, and the most prevalent remain. My need for being an entertainer is more than sticking as a fly to a paper in which it hates. There is no escaping the intense feelings I have towards my goals and dreams. The weather here is unbearable as I go day to day without a driver's license. It will be 2012 until it is reinstated. It has been very difficult, yet a relief, not having the responsibility of a vehicle and its problems. Being more specific on the weather, well, it is cold as ever, and I really have a hard time staying in all day waiting for things to happen. My writing, as you know, has its way of utilizing my time in a positive way, but being outside is a very important part of anyone's day. The snow and cold winds are enough to make me shiver from just looking at it from the inside and have no real desire to be in it doing anything, especially ski. To get me out in that would have to be a very important deal, for example, a cast in a movie or something. Many visual possibilities come and go during the day. I have only my mind to conquer at this point, and it is becoming a little more difficult to be in control of what I really want to do from day to day because of the hampering weather and its elements of discomfort. At this time, I am seriously doing my best to deal with these elements and the delay in which this weather causes as far as business and going forward on a daily basis. Patience are really a virtue at this point. My mind is constantly attacking me with the visions of ocean waves and humidity in the air. I have one alternative, and that is to go on a road trip for a few days and see these sights so that maybe I can reload my energy level for a time, without going completely mad. Nothing stops me from being totally grateful, though, for what I have as far as a nice place to live in the avenues of Salt Lake City and the friends in which I do have, including my family that has seemed to become more supportive of my lifestyle and accomplishments. Thanksgiving Day was spent at one of my brother's homes, and it was good to see everyone and exchange stories and actually let them know what I was pursuing at the moment. I think for the first time I was actually getting across to them, and they seemed to genuinely be interested in my endeavors at this point. I guess it is very different for three younger brothers to watch their oldest brother go through life accomplishing everything that my heart wants to follow. They always would have the responses like, "You need to grow up. When you going to get a real job?" Well, I am almost 50 years old and pretty much have always had a job and have made really good money until I moved here to Utah for reasons explained in my previous book, A Cry for Justice. Not an easy transition for someone like me who requires a structured environment of my liking. If I didn't like a job, it didn't take much for me to move on and start another one. Anyway, my life has been full of mystery, discontent, happiness, loss, and everything in which most everyone goes through. My creativeness really has a way of overpowering my abilities, and I have become my own worst enemy. What my mind can create becomes overwhelming, and I get in a stuck mode of transforming thought into reality. The visualist in me goes through a phase of cutting out what can't possibly be created or accomplished. At that time, I would try to move on and think of what else I can do to come close to the mission I was just on and compromise. Compromising is not easy for me, but I am open to it. But if I really want something, I really do what I can to stick to the original vision or goal. Giving in to a lesser thought or idea is hard because it is not what was originally thought, and I can become frustrated, and it takes everything not to give up. I found out just recently that sleep is a good way to forget. Or is it? Depression is not a good thing for anyone, but if I want to check out for a while, that is how I've been dealing with it. I don't go there there often, but when I do, I am not sticking to the game plan, and it actually makes things worse. Last night was a perfect example of this, and I guess writing about it like I am now at this moment is helping. I am always trying to come up with things to overcome obstacles of the depression type and refuse to let negative override the positive at this point. I have had plenty of friends and still do that are artist-orientated. When these people aren't creating and being on the accomplishment end of their reality, they seem to disappear for a moment, or they seem down. Artists in all forms, I think, are like this from my experience being friends with them. I see myself the same way, and it gets overwhelming and annoying at the same time. Not being creative is the downfall and reason for many artists going into seclusion and disappearing, and I understand this with my deepest feelings. These are my realities and opinions. So if there are any arguments and resentments of what I am saying, remember, everyone has their opinion and ways of seeing things. I feel that my explanations and feelings toward these specific issues are sound and make total sense. With all due respect, I would be open to anyone's explanations about the same subjects. This is Till Then Is Now, and I really appreciate you dropping by and being interested in what I'm doing. Check out my website, like I said, www.totarobooks.com. I'm on my 4th book now, hopefully to be releasing in September. So I do appreciate your time. Health, wealth, and peace to all. Just do what you got to do in life to be happy. I appreciate your time.